everybody. Welcome to Backspace Nomads, the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
What? Woo!
I thought I got to intro the show.
You do, but you don't steal the intro. We have our intro.
No.
This is not what I meant.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night Live.
Okay, now we can probably get sued because we dropped names. You're taking this one?
All right. Well, I am your show host, Monica. And with me today, I have funny man extraordinaire, Brian!
Hey everyone, excited to be here. Just, how exciting. I can lift things. That's my talent.
Right? Yeah, we found out that Brian's talent is that he can look at something and if he wants to lift it, he can lift it.
Yes.
And what we mean by that is like many things like couches or grandmothers. And we've decided that if he were to go back in time, the best way for him to use his talents would be to be an Egyptian slave and help build the pyramids.
I'm really doing it for other people because I just know I could push and carry more boulders than most of them. Mm-hmm. I would be relieving work for other people. I'm a hero in this situation, Monica.
Oh,
hero.
Well, it's true. But, going back in time actually kind of relates to one of the games that we decided to play this week, which is Kingdoms and Castles, which we'll be reviewing a little bit later. And before we do that, we have to get into something that we've been planning for quite some time, and that is our Patron.
Woo! Patron. A lot of clapping in this intro.
And I'm trying my best, Brian. I'm trying my best. And then we're going to talk a little bit about city builder games as a whole. And we have an amazing time of game story with streamer Mr. Lit.
Very nice.
Also prepared for you. But I think the first thing we're going to tackle here is talking about our Patron, which I will go ahead and lend this one to you, Brian. Yay!
Thanks. I don't even know what to do with this. All right. So we are finally launching our Patron. We have been thinking about how we were going to do our Patron for a long time. We definitely didn't just want to put it up there and have nothing to give back to you guys. So we feel like we kind of created some cool tiers that add content to the entire Backspace Nomads experience. And we got some future plans for where it can go. But let's just talk about the first tier, Nomad.
I want to say that we also made an awesome video, so you guys should go check it out. If not for anything, for the video. And then another thing is we do, we really appreciate any support that can be given. But, obviously this will allow us to grow the channel. We, take care of all of the fees associated with it right now. And that's fine. But we really do want to grow this into something bigger. Mm-hmm. We want to be able to go to conventions and do some live events and everything. And we want to be able to go to more conventions. We want to be able to meet with you guys and hang out with you guys. And that's really important to us. And we don't currently right now have goals in place. We have ideas around what we want to do with our goals. Some of them are serious. Some of them are serious and some of them are a little bit less. But one of them that's in the works right now is we're thinking we're not sure what the level is going to be yet, but if we can get to a specific level to be determined, we are going to sponsor a sports team of 8-year-olds.
Yes, not a real sports team in the sense of
they are real. They are real.
I'm talking in terms of monetary commitment. We're not looking to throw $10,000 at a sports team.
Oh my gosh, but you cannot say that these children are not real. If we're going to be their sponsor, we have to fully believe in them, Brian.
They are the best athletes. I can't wait to meet these kids and just be so impressed with their prowess on the field, on the pitch, for
So we're thinking that at a certain level, and this is just one of our more ridiculous goals. We want to get jerseys with Backspace Nomads on them. We want to film the games, kind of, talk about what's going on in the game, and then have that as part of our patron only content. But let's go ahead and jump into some of the tiers. You'd started bringing up the first one that's kind of beyond just like helping us out and comes with something a little bit more than thank you.
So Nomad was the first tier. That's just the thank you. The next one is kind of the personal thank you from me and Monica. It's the $5 tier. When you go ahead and give us your support that way, we will add your name to a scrolling list for the vidcast and any streams that take place for Backspace Nomads. Your name will be scrolling across on the screen with people. And then the first month that you do subscribe to that tier, you do get a shout out on the show and a verbal thank you from us for that first month.
Yeah, we are going to let everyone know how special you are to us. I might even write you a poem. It won't be a very long one. Maybe a haiku.
A nice haiku.
Know. Yeah, or just like, a couple spoken words that come deep from the heart, or even maybe like bodily function noises. I don't know what you're going to get, but you might get something a little special. So thank you to anyone that donates on that tier. The next one that we are going to have is called the Lucky Nomad. We obviously review a lot of games on this channel. That's a big part of what we do. We review these indie games, and we thought it would be really, really fun for one of our patron contributors to each month be able to win one of the games that we've had on in the past. And so at $10, you are entered into that, and you can pick any game that we've ever reviewed. So
all of them.
Yeah, or not. You don't get to pick all of them.
No, all of the choices.
Get to pick. They're going to quote you on that.
Yeah,
but you can
don't take that out of context, guys, please.
But yeah, you get to pick one of the games that we've reviewed in the past. So like, even if it was maybe not our favorite game, but you thought it seemed really interesting, you can pick it.
Yeah. And then the next one, the Pledged Nomad, is the $20 tier that I'm actually kind of the most excited about, because at this one, we're going to start making Patreon only content that this year you get to kind of start be able to watch. And what we're planning on doing this, any kind of gaming show or movie that comes out, we're going to be reviewing those types of things in this tier. So our big one that's coming up, the first thing we're going to launch for this, the Netflix Castlevania anime. You will be getting a episode by episode review of that series from me and Monica. And I've watched the first one. We haven't recorded the review for it. I got so many things to say about that show.
Yeah. And we're going to try to keep it, like Brian had said, we wanted to try to keep it, gaming related. So it's not like we're going to suddenly pick up some Lifetime series and be like, did you see that Bertha just fucked Tom? I can't believe it. I mean, that could be fun too, but at least to start off, we're going to stick with gaming related movies and shows.
Tom has that dirty dick.
I believe it. Well, I've never seen it, Brian, but I believe it. I believe it.
Tom gets around.
And then the last one that we have is the After Show Nomad. And, when we do after shows, we do the recording. We don't necessarily put that up on YouTube, but we will start adding that to the patron content. And at that $25 pledge, then you get to unlock the after shows. So guys, thank you. Anyone that can contribute, thank you so much. We're really hoping to have this grow, and really looking forward to just having you guys be a bigger part of the team.
We want you with us on this journey. Yeah. All right. With the Patreon talked about and taken care of, let's move into our review of Kingdoms and Castles. Kingdoms and Castle was released July 20th, 2017 from Lion Shield. You can find it on Steam for $9.99. Kingdoms and Castles is a game about growing a kingdom from a tiny hamlet to a sprawling city and then an imposing castle. Your kingdom must survive a living and dangerous world. Do the Viking raiders make off with your villagers, or are they stopped by the arrows at your castle's gate? The success of your kingdom depends solely on your skill as a city and a castle planner. Monica, what were your expectations of Kingdoms and Castles?
I had pretty high expectations for this one. I actually had someone who messaged me on Twitter about this game a while ago and had done like a little review of it. And based off of their quick, it was only about 10 minutes. I really liked what I was seeing from their gameplay, and was interested in playing it myself. But obviously with our schedule, it's hard to just fit things in. And I didn't realize that it hadn't fully come out yet. So I was excited. I like city builder games. I find them relaxing and enjoy just the almost repetitive, but like still accomplishing nature of them.
Sure.
And I was looking forward to this one. What about you?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I knew nothing about this game before we found it on Steam. Steam kind of threw this one in my face and like sent it for me to be my destiny for the game that we should play. In general, big city builder fan. So just in general, anytime I get my chance to get my hands on one and play it, I just want it to like wash over me and take my mind off things. I actually studied urban planning and regional development in school, so I'm kind of a nerd for city building on a educational level. So super pumped to take this one into like a medieval Sim City type of thing is where my head was at. So I was looking forward to this one. Let's start off with some things that we liked about Kingdoms and Castles.
So I really think visually this game works amazingly. It's cute setup. If you're manly and you just think cute sounds like a derogatory term, let me just say it's fun. And I think that it's also just it does provide that like relaxing atmosphere. So the music, the visual, it's entertaining. How would you describe it? It's almost like pixely, but like with cubic.
They're called voxels.
Voxels.
So it definitely has a voxel look to it, and a lot of the buildings and structures are voxel based kind of in nature. But overall, it's just kind of like a low poly. All the trees look like basic triangles, like 3 triangles put together with a stick. Everything's like very simply done, but all the colors and the palette they chose, and it's like very bold, saturated colors. So the world really is vibrant. Everything they did, it like worked for it because like using these simple colors with the low poly, with like the cubic voxel look, just blended so well together.
Yeah. I also really enjoyed the weather effects. One of the things that makes the game challenging is the change in weather. And like a lot of the other city builders that I've played, weather doesn't really play a part into like the challenging nature. It exists, but it's not necessarily something that's affecting the gameplay. So weather in this affects how much food you produce and other elements. And I like that a lot. It adds a dynamic that makes it a little bit more challenging and provides a challenge at least because you're planning around it. Almost in like that don't starve or don't starve together type of gameplay where you're like knowing that a certain season or certain weather type is coming up. So like you want to be prepared for that scenario.
Sure. Next thing for me that I really loved about this game was just how simple it was to kind of grasp what was going on. The other big medieval like city building game that I've played is this game called Banished. I don't know if you ever took a look at that, but it was a very, very complex, punishing city builder, but it was set in medieval and so I was into it. That's the type of game where you have to commit like a whole day to really learn it. I picked this game up. I knew exactly what was going on. These are kind of the same notes that have been hit in other city building games. So you know what's going on from the get-go if you're familiar with the genre. And overall, like I knew that like how to get the wood, how to get the gold, how to get the iron. I knew all that, and it was just very easy to put those puzzle pieces together. This is like the 250 puzzle pieces versus like buying the like 2,000 piece puzzle game. Like you're buying the simple puzzle piece and you're just there for the enjoyment. You're there to like see a fancy picture, and it's not going to take you too long to finish it.
I think that I'm actually gonna before I jump into how I feel about what you just said, I'm gonna go ahead and say the last thing that I loved about it, and I love dragons. I love dragons, and this game has dragons in it. Yeah, well, it's still cute.
Okay.
It's a little voxel dragon. It's so cute. Dragons attack you. You can also be attacked by Vikings, but dragons do attack and can destroy some of your progress. And I just like dragon attacks are sweet, man. So like props to
you're a punishing leader. Like you're happy that this dragon's come to kill your villagers.
Oh,
you just, like,
I got so they're so cute.
You just want to scratch it on its little like stupid dragon chin.
Yeah, if I didn't realize how weird it would make me look, I would just have a collection of dragon statues like in my living room all over.
I think you should do that. I think you look really cool.
Oh wow, I don't believe you.
No.
I feel like no, I don't trust that. Oh, okay, all right, I'll do it. Fine.
Yes. Post the pictures on Twitter and we'll all let you know how cool you're looking.
Thanks, man.
Last thing I kind of liked about this game, it had this weird thing where I just kept building and I couldn't describe the game mechanic or like what I was really loving about it, except for the fact that like I just kept doing it. It's like the game washed over me, and like 2 to 3 hours later, I was like, holy hell, I'm still playing this game.
You know, I need to point something out. I think it was last episode. You said you didn't like underwater games or games. And what's up with things washing over you? It sounds like you're in the sea. And I thought you didn't like water.
No, I don't like water levels. I like feelings and like from a game to like wash over my mind, so I'm not thinking about my life. I'm like embracing with the game. Like when you hear a really good album, like it washes over you, you're into it, like you're committed, your whole headspace is in. That's the washing.
I'm just imagining you laying out on a beach in like
nice, in
a Speedo, just posing and waves washing over you. And then I'm thinking in my head, like, does Brian actually like water games?
No, I don't. I hate them.
Okay, that's just the connection I made.
I do like Speedos on the beach, though.
Okay, that makes sense.
Before we move on, the last thing to do with like I just kept building and like playing this game and playing it. I found out that this game does not have a ceiling for how high you can build like towers and stuff. You can build this thing as high as you want, and of course, because I'm a dude, I just built a massive donger as high into the sky as the I was like, oh, there's no ceiling in this game, and without even thinking, I just started like building a big penis. So thank you, Lion Shield. Thank you.
Do you have to be a dude to want to build dongers? Because I built a donger island in City Skylines.
You definitely don't have to.
I like terraformed a penis island.
No, you definitely don't have to, but I think
I'm checking. Hold on.
I think you're checking.
I'm still a girl. Okay, great.
I think building dongers for females might be an acquired taste. For guys, you're just born with it. You're just like, I want to draw penises everywhere.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay.
You trying to get a suit again? You going for 2 taglines?
Yeah, I'm just a tagline. We're sponsored, by the way, by Maybelline. And whose line is it anyway, guys? The sponsorship. Thanks for the sponsors, dudes.
Yeah. All right. Let's move into things we didn't like about kingdoms and castles.
Okay, so one of the things that you had said you liked was the simplicity. For one, there's no tutorial really in this game. It doesn't really walk you through anything. And I feel like if there doesn't have to be any type of tutorial, that can be fine if part of the game is figuring it out. I don't feel like part of the game here is figuring it out. I think it's just truly to some point that simple. And because of that, and because there's no instruction, like after playing this game for a while, I started getting pretty bored. I didn't feel like I was doing much. I didn't feel like there was a lot happening. I didn't feel like I was really leveling. I knew my population was growing, which in this game, a huge, really your only progress with this game is your population. I mean, you can continue to build things and grow things, but you're just trying to get a larger populace, or I guess even more funds. But and so because of the lack of instruction, I missed out on things like, I guess there are like population skill sets and everything that you can have happen. And I didn't gather that from playing myself. That wasn't intuitive enough for me. And I just felt like I was missing out on things because I wasn't having it explained to, and I found myself getting bored.
I could definitely see that. I do, even though I did like how simple it was, I do agree with the notion that you do get bored and there isn't anything really to do, because one of my big complaints is there's just not a lot of goals. Most city building games are goal oriented. They give you goals to go after, and that kind of what is pushing your playthrough. This game definitely is lacking in that, and I do wish there was more to do in terms of like more area to build. Maybe you're going over to another like village and kind of moving in on their area. I think you nailed everything on my complaints on that end. I do wish there was more to do.
I also I didn't feel like there were a lot of like building types in this game. Here it's fairly basic, and as a whole, I didn't feel like this game was complete. I got this vibe almost that I was playing early access, but I wasn't. I guess they're still introducing things and making adjustments, even though, it is a full release. But I wasn't getting the vibe of it being complete. You don't have like a lot of upgraded building types. Like you have specific types of walls and whatever, and that's all you get. And it seems even with the combat element that is introduced and the weather element, it still seems a little like there's not enough. Like you're not moving in any particular direction.
I love that you said that, because my next big complaint was like the combat system, and that it just kind of felt like it was half baked. It felt like they had an idea there. It was kind of late in their development process, and like, oh, we should do this, or something got pushed back because this combat system wasn't realized at all. It was very hard to figure out how to, like, you recruit infantrymen by leveling up and building a barracks. But then there's inside of the barracks, and then you have a hero, and then on your own you have to figure out that you have to right click your hero to the barracks to pick up the units. It was like there's a process there that they do not explain to you, and then you go through that and you figure it out, and then you go attack Vikings, and then I don't think my Vikings and guys ever really fought each other. They just kind of chased each other around the map, and then the Vikings died to like the archer towers that I built.
Yeah.
So definitely the combat system there, very lacking. Why even put it in if you're not going to commit and make a really good one, or at least try? Maybe I don't want to like, knock them down too much, because I don't know how much effort they really put in. Maybe this was like the biggest part of their development, and they just couldn't get it done. But it was lacking, and they simply should have done a better job with it.
The last thing that really drove me nuts was the clouds.
The voxel clouds?
Yeah, these clouds are massive. And I swear to God, if I am like, I don't know, let's just say I'm in a blimp, and I'm traveling over a city. I don't think clouds are normally that low. These clouds, I feel like I'm pretty close to the city. These clouds are everywhere. They're massive. They're blocking my view. At first, I was like, I love these clouds moving across the map. They look so nice. It's like magical and majestic. And I was like, I need to see what the fuck's going on underneath these clouds. Why are there so many clouds this low to the ground? What's up with this? It's really just a small complaint, but the clouds were...
That's a small complaint for you?
They're just so big, and they take up a significant chunk of your screen when they're truly in your way, and I just thought that was annoying.
That's a valid complaint. You can hate clouds all you want. I'm a dreamer. I love clouds, you know? I like clouds to wash over me.
Oh, do you? Oh,
Yes.
my God. So many things washing over you.
I really don't have anything else I really dislike for this game just because of how casual the game is. I think that they were aiming for that, and it kind of feels unfair to be like, you don't have this when you want to be a casual game, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not like in depth like SimCity or a City Skylines. This is the casual games. I don't want to dislike too much on it. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts for me are that this is one of the only games that I've bought within recent history that I felt like I was playing almost early access. I think they were a little bit too premature with saying that the game was complete. One of the things that you had told me, Brian, even before we started recording, is that they got like over 200% or something crazy of the
750.
goal. 750% higher than their goal for this game on Fig. Mm-hmm. And I just, with knowing that, especially, I already had my notes written down, but knowing that especially, I'm like, man, it didn't feel complete to me, and I'm a thumbs down. I think that there are a lot of other games out there that you can have more progression in at a somewhat similar price point. So I'm a thumbs down on this one. Sadly, the dragons couldn't save it for me. The fun weather attacks couldn't save it for me. You know, even the visuals, as much as I liked them, just it doesn't save it for me. It's not a game I'm gonna pick up again.
See, I'm gonna have to go opposite on you. I'm gonna have to put my thumb up for this game. I enjoyed it. I went into this game.
Well, you're washed. You've been cleansed, and
I've casually been washed by this game because this week I embraced being a casual gamer. And I love this game. This game was a very casual city builder. It's not the pinnacle of the genre, but for what it is, for the price point, I think it's fair. And it's a game that had me continuously playing it for a couple of hours without realizing it. And I can't not support a game that does that for me. So thumbs up, my dudes. Thumbs up, thumbs down for the Backspace Nomads for Kingdoms and Castles. Very contentious look you have on your face coming at me. I don't know what this is about.
You are allowed to have opinions.
Is this a safe place?
It's safe. You've been washed. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for going through that intermission with us. Dun, 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 dun.
Not again.
Dun, 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 dun. Brian, come on down, co-host Brian.
Hey, I'm walking down. Here, I'm walking. Hold on, Bob. Here I come. What is the show becoming, dude? This is why you don't host.
I know. But I like it. Okay, so Brian and I were trying to figure out what to do for this particular episode, and I was like, oh, we should just talk about city builder games that we like. And then I was like, did you ever play that one game, Roos? And then he's like, no. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this isn't a city builder game. And then I'm like, oh man, like what about that one game, Civilization? And I was like, oh shit, that's not a city builder game. And then I was like, man, I guess just because it has cities in it doesn't mean that it's a city builder.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, that's not a city building game.
Yeah, I never knew. It's out of control. But because you were making fun of me, I thought it would be great to put you to the test. You didn't realize I was going to do this, but I am going to put you to the test, and I'm going to give you the names of games that are either a city builder or not.
Are you kidding? Dude,
and
you have broken the trust of this podcast.
Why?
You developed a segment, put me on the spot, you can tell me? There is a trust between...
I'm the host.
All right, you're like a pirate. I'm the host now.
Yeah. Okay, without further ado, Elvenar.
That is a city builder game.
Fuck it is. Damn it.
Yes. Don't be mad because I got something right. You should be happy for me. You should be a gracious host.
No, I am. Okay. Well, okay. Emperor, Rise of the Middle Kingdom.
All right, Emperor. I'm going to say that is not a medieval builder game.
It is a city builder. It's a city builder.
Oh, yeah. It sounds awful.
Well, just because it sounds awful doesn't mean it's not a city builder. All right. Age of Wonders.
That is not a city builder game.
It is not a city builder game. Galactic Civilizations.
Not a city builder.
Not a city builder.
All right.
You've only gotten one wrong so far.
I'm on the swing. Come back into this.
Okay. Well, fuck. Duelist.
Duelist? Not a city builder.
Correct.
Okay, are you just pulling random games out now?
Imperium Romanium. Romanum.
I'm going to say not a city builder.
It is a city builder. You are dumb.
No. Look, I got a question wrong. It doesn't mean I'm dumb.
It's punishment. It's punishment. The Simpsons, Tapped Out.
What? That's a city builder game.
It is.
Yes. Thank you. Is that the one on the cell phone?
Yeah.
Oh, God. People play that game, too.
Yeah. It's The Simpsons, Tapped Out. All right. You know what, Brian? I feel like at this point you've proved yourself enough.
I am a worthy city builder.
You are you only got 2 wrong. That was actually pretty good. What were you doing? Thinking, like, listening to the game, thinking if it sounded more like strategy or...
I was looking at your face and seeing if you had that dumb gotcha face, like, coming out like, oh, you're going to get this one wrong.
That's not true.
That's my game plan, going into it.
Well, your poker face was only right most of the time, so...
All right.
You could have lost $10,000 there, buddy.
What's your favorite city builder game you've ever played?
My favorite city builder game, now that I know what a city builder game is, was definitely City Skylines. I think you actually agree with me on that one.
Yeah.
I really got into City Skylines for a long time. That's where I built my Donger Island. And it was great. You know, I had to go and, like, it took so much effort in order to terraform and grab dirt from one portion of the map and then, like, build up a donger in the middle of my in the middle of the lake, and I put all my all of the waste into that one pond, so it was completely brown and there was just a donger coming out of it. It was a thing of beauty.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
But I think that just shows you, like, it was so, you could do almost anything you wanted in that game. It felt like you could make mountains if you wanted to. You could and there's just so many options, like, that kept as your city began to grow, that, like, became available to you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I picked up City Skylines for, like, $19.99, and I have played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, I don't know too many games that I've gotten that kind of bang for my buck out of it either. I think I came off of that, like a lot of people, after the last SimCity, and just being so frustrated with the genre. SimCity really took advantage of trying to game you and not really letting you build a city, but you're really just playing a game. Playing City Skylines was so refreshing. It felt light. It felt fun. Coming from, like, I kind of nerd out to urban planning stuff, and that the game's success was based off of your traffic patterns was so nerdy and fun for me. I can't explain how excited I was that, like, I could build an interchange that let my city build and, like, grow. It was the complete, like, culmination of my city building experiences.
There was one city that I made, and I'm not saying that I'm the best planner here, but I did all right. But one city that I made just started having such horrible traffic that I had entire roads and streets underneath the ground. Like, an entire section of just it was almost following the same pattern, and then I would bring them up. and like allow the cars in the tunnels. I mean, it was an entire tunnel. Like the city was built. Actually, now that I think about this was extremely dangerous because an entire city was built over roads that people were driving on.
You're ahead of your time. You're the Elon Musk of city building. He's building tunnels now under LA for roads.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. It's not dangerous. It's totally genius. I'm a genius. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was great. I really, really loved that. And in general, I like the city builder genre. It's not something that I ever really would have thought that like I could have gotten into, but especially, you know, I think similarly to you, like there's just a lot to like kind of geek out on.
Yeah. And like just being able to like mix in like industries and what can build here, what can build there. Mm-hmm. They did it so well and so easy, like the way you could paint it instead of like just dragging a box. You know, you could have like paint with your cursor. That was so fun.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's kind of, it's weird. That's like the game where like you found me back in our old days when we used to be streamers.
Yep. The olden days. So one of our guest on tonight who's sharing his time of game is Mr. Lit.
Yeah, Mr. Lit is one of the big community members for Backspace Nomads, always supporting us here on the podcast. You can find Mr. Lit on twitch.tv/Mr_Lit and on Twitter @Mr__Lit. And
he's actually also really loves city builder games, so I feel like he lends well into the theme that we've got going here. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hear his story.
We're gonna talk about when I met my wife, because she's still currently a big influence, obviously, in this whole Twitch thing and getting that going. But when we first met and we first started kind of chit-chatting, I actually like heard her voice before I met her. Like she was laughing and just running around, and we were like obviously watching a movie. I was watching a movie in my dorm room.
Where you at? Like you're at school or college?
We're in college.
Yeah.
And our college was a single dorm, and of course back then the levels were supposed to be like guy, girl, but of course there's like 60 of us in a dorm for 300, so we all just kind of packed in like one floor. But I could hear her, and it was in January, and I kind of scooted over in my bed, like our dorm room beds for like a single. I mean, they were tiny. I like wiped off all the M&Ms in my bed. And we were watching a movie called like 8 Seconds. It's a rodeo movie. And
what?
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. It's the best movie ever. Best movie you've ever seen. 8 Seconds. It's a true story too.
Yeah, for many men, it's a true story.
So she comes coming down the hallway, and I'm like, you know, I'm a basketball player. I'm fit. I had hair back then. I was like, I know what I'm doing. So she comes in, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, girl, I'm watching this movie. I was like, why don't you watch it with me? Like, I scooted over in my bed, and like I patted the bed. She's like, yeah, sure. And she like, you know, bebops in. She's a soccer player, and she like lays down on my roommate's bed. And I was like, oh. She's like, you know, kicking her feet up and watching the movie with me. And I was like, kind of like flattened my sails a little bit. So that's when I was like, this is my chick. I was like, this is my girl. So we fast forward like a couple months, and then I find out that she enjoys video games. And I was like, thank goodness. So she actually has a computer in her dorm room, and it has like Civilization 2 or 3. It was like, this was a long time ago when those games.
Oh, she's like a real nerd.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fantastic. Yeah. So we're playing. So we stay up like all night for weeks and weeks and weeks playing like Civilization. She crushes me nonstop. Like bombs me. Archers are taking me out. Everything surrounds me. So
were you thinking you were going easy on her at first because you thought of yourself as like a gamer?
No, I gotta just destroy and dominate. It's like, I gotta show this girl what I can do. And then she keeps beating me, and I'm like, you're like really good. And she's like, you know, it's a game. I like playing. Like to her, it's just kind of a thing. So, you know, as our relationship grows and stuff, I was like, a week after dating her, I was like, I'm marrying you. And she's like, we've only been dating a week. So I knew it before she did.
What was your first date? Like, describe that real quick.
First date was, oh man, We went to see a James Bond movie, and then we went to Steak and Shake. It's to this day, that is still my go-to. She's like, what do you want to do? I was like, movie and Steak and Shake. She's like, no, we're adults now. She's like, you can't do that to me for the last 15 years. But I think it was like Die Another Day. It was Pierce Brosnan. It was a Pierce Brosnan one. And it was just dinner and a movie, and we just kind of started talking, and we just both kind of like the same kind of things, and she was into video games, and I was just a nerd and an idiot, and I was like, hey, let's keep on doing this. You know, we got a good thing going. I was like, oh, well. So, but like through that, we just kept playing more games, and the whole like NCAA, like football games came out, and the Xboxes, and then like you could hook up your Xbox to another Xbox and have two TVs going. And as a college kid, I was like, this is amazing. And like she would play those games with us, and she was just really, really fun to be around. Obviously, she still is, because you know we're still married and everything. But
no, that's not a given. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But and then like for Twitch and for streaming and stuff, I can totally see of how it could be like an issue, but she's amazing. Like she bought, of course I'm not using it right now, but she bought the green screen that I use. She got it for me for I think like a Father's Day or just like a gift, and she was like, you know, you love doing this. It's fun. It's fun to watch you. It's like take the green screen, you know, do whatever you want to do. So I think it's been really, really fun with our relationship. Yeah. And now like my kids are getting into it, so it's really fun.
Take me back to like when you found like the Legend of Zelda and her.
Legend of Zelda and her. We were trying to think. Legend of Zelda and her were a little bit apart because she was more like when like Civilization and all that stuff came out. Right. So like trying to think.
Is Legend of Zelda just like an anchor for that part of your life, you think?
Yes. Legend of Zelda has definitely been an anchor for that part of my life because it's kind of meshed that whole journey that Link goes through, and I'm like, I could be like him finding my princess, and you know, it's kind of my wife is treating her as Zelda and thinking of, you know, just things that he would do to sweeping her off her feet, because I always liked that story more than Mario. And this is going to sound weird and dumb, but I'm like, it still bugs me.
This is the podcast for you.
It still bugs me that you find Princess Peach. Oh, she's in another castle. And I'm like, that bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah,
you do all that stuff.
You couldn't leave any clues or anything?
Couldn't do anything. Like, couldn't send a dude to text.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and she's always just been like super duper supportive.
Yeah. So now, like, getting into kind of the next, like, the adulthood of your life and stuff. Is she still a big gamer, or is she like left that behind?
She's kind of left. So she doesn't play as many games. She plays a lot of, oh gosh, Monica would love this. Her and Monica would be like best buddies. The mobile. She loves the mobile games. Oh. I don't even know what they are. They're like little balls on there that she has to like cross. Candy Crush was her like huge. We might have like a $30,000 debt that I don't know about, all in Candy Crush. Yeah, but she loves like that kind of stuff because I mean she does I mean, our twins take up like 99% of our time. Sure. So when she gets like 5 minutes of peace, she's just kind of on there trying to keep it going. But she really enjoys like letting me do all this, because then I'll go upstairs and tell her about it. And I think the games have moved on of where she kind of wanted. So that's just kind of what it is.
You haven't introduced her to the new Civilization that was released?
Dude, the new Civilization is way beyond my head. Like, I'm still when they wouldn't let us stack characters on top and we had to like start surrounding them, I was like, wait a minute, this is way too much more thinking than I need. So like Civ 6 is like, I've watched people play it, way beyond my head. Like Civ 5 is still, I still get crushed. Like when Civ 5 came out, we did a whole bunch of like community nights.
Yeah.
I lost every single one of them. Like I was the first one out. I kept dying. People kept overrunning me. I was like, I want to build a science. Like, I want the nerd. I want the nerd civilization. Nope. Someone would create like iron and iron weapons and come stomp on me. It was just crazy. And that's what she would do. They would do the exact same tactics as she would. So I guess I just never learned. I was like, I've always wanted to do like the science technology thing and civilizations, man. That brute force.
How many kids you guys got?
We have two. We have twins. We have a twin boy and a girl, and they're 4, and they are wild. And that's one of the reasons why I'm whispering a little bit too, because I have to tell a lot of people this. They come in, they're like, "Hey, why are you whispering?" I was like, I'm in an unfinished basement, so like literally 6 feet, 7 feet above my head is their like floorboard, and like all we have is like a little piece of like carpet and tile or whatever is up there, like pieces of wood. So like I'll be streaming sometimes. I'll be into a game or we'll be playing like PlayerUnknown. I'm like dodging and I'll hear the footsteps like going across. Like, guys, I gotta go. And like I gotta take off the headset. And like half the time I forget to mute the camera, and they can like the chat can hear me being like, "Are you okay?" Or hear the kid crying as they're coming down the stairs. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's really cool. I mean, and I think I hope that's one thing that like people get when they come into the community, is that this is like a family place. It's like a place where you can hang out. Yeah, I'm not playing always like the most family-friendly games, but I'm never going to curse, I'm never going to swear, I'm never going to drink, I'm never going to smoke, yada, yada, yada. And it's just something that I want people to feel welcome for. And I think we've done it. I think we have. And I think the chat has done a really good job with that too.
That's awesome. So you're building this entire like family-friendly stream. Your wife played games. What are the plans for the twins and the old gaming front? Like, what's brewing in your head?
So, one thing that I'm like, obviously we love my kids no matter what. Let's get that out there. But I'm so pumped. They both love like building. Like the games I love playing are like SimCity or SimCity. City Skylines, like Banished, those kind of games where you get to like build things and create. They love like playing with Legos. They love like building just stuff. So like we got them those 3D puzzles, and like as you put the puzzle together, it builds up something. And like we got them one where it built up like some princess castle, and it was a castle, so my son liked it. It was a princess, so my daughter liked it, and it took us like 3 hours. So I was like, yes, this is taking up time. So they love it. They love doing that kind of stuff. We did a fireworks stream to where we put together a fireworks show, like after 4th of July. So like on the stream we had like the fireworks and we were running the fuses all together, and the kids were like, I want to do this, and I was like, no, don't touch it. But so like they're down here, they enjoy it. But I got like car mechanic simulator 2015 or something for like $1.99.
Yeah,
my son loves it. He's like changing the oil, clicking this, unscrewing that. And of course, some of the time, like I'm kind of maneuvering the mouse. So like they have like just a thing that I'm like, oh, press the yellow button. And they'll press and I'll like tap the mouse and it'll do it on the screen. And they're like, this is the coolest thing ever. So they enjoy it. I'll always like if something happens and I hear them, if it's during a stream, I'll go, and then like the community is really cool because like if I don't come back in like 3 or 4 minutes, the community is pretty much like, well, he might be an hour, so everyone just go do what you need to do. Because half the time, like once I think I like left it running for like an hour and a half, and I was kind of up there like in a rocking chair with my kid, and I was like, oh crap! I was like, I still had the stream going. I was like, oops. But they enjoy it. They get a kick out of it, and of course they like watching the replays like on my phone. Like, that's Daddy. So it's really cool.
Do they think that you're some huge famous celebrity now because you're on their phone? No. I would lie to them. Just
I should.
Like listen to me. Do you see how many people are here watching on YouTubes?
I tell my students that all the time though, because my students are like middle school to high school age. They're like, who are you? I was like, dude. I was like, I have singles, maybe dozens of people come to my streams. I was like, you don't know me.
Maybe dozens.
It's like I might have dozens of people there.
Yeah. Do they know your Twitch handle, or they ever found you?
I've never told them, but once one kid knows, then they all know, which is fine by me. But it's like me not telling them like helps me out with the school district in case, heaven forbid, something ever does happen.
Sure.
And that's what I tell the kids too. They're like, oh, why can't you tell me? I was like, dude, I just can't. I was like, but I'm pretty much watching myself right now. So if you just look at the, it's like, you'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing your story, sir. I know you want to get some like plugs in and stuff.
Yeah.
And like thank yous to people, your community.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Of course, just like thank you to you guys for like allowing me to do this. When you guys announced the podcast, I was like, that is something so cool and something I would love to maybe be a part of or work with, and I just want to thank you guys so much for it.
Thank you.
Just everybody in my community is just fantastic. I don't want to name one person because then you'll of course leave a whole bunch of people out. But I do want to say a special thanks to Aubrey Yanks. She was either one of or like the second person I saw on Twitch, and I was like, that's really cool. And then she like hosted the Hunter Wild, and I don't know if you see like up there, he I asked him before I put his like icon and stuff up there, but he's been a big supporter and mainly like a big soundboard of whenever I had questions, or his community is someone that we really wanted to base our community off of how we interacted. But just everybody that comes in, I just want them to feel safe and be happy when they leave, or just hang out with them.
Well, everybody, that is it for episode 26. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please come check out our Patron. You can find it at www.patreon.com/Backspace Nomads. And check out the offers that we've got there, as well as like give our video a quick look. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.